Hey, this is Katie Frenzy with tips to help you sell more. Now, we've been talking in past weeks a lot about starting a business and doing some really good research so you get started on a really good foot. This week is 8 ways to conduct market research. So a very important element, and I definitely recommend taking at least a handful of these, maybe not all of them, to conduct some research so you have an understanding of the lay of the land so you can build a really healthy business. Now, the first one is going to be keyword research or conducting some keyword research. Great tool out there, lots of them. One I recommend is going to be the Google Keyword Planner. It gives you insight into Google, the big player out there. But you can actually type in your product, service, business idea, get an understanding of how many people are actually searching for that particular term so you understand that market demand. And then additionally, it's going to give you actual suggestions for keywords to use on your site. So lots of perks with this particular one. More tips as to how to do that properly within the blog post, because lots of little hacks for you. Number 2, Google Trends. So another great Google tool, going to help you understand trends over time for a particular product, service, or business idea, and geographic location and other resources as well, so you have a really good understanding of that landscape. So really awesome. Number 3, check social volume. So for this one, going out there and just doing some legwork and understanding what's going out there on social media. So for instance, there's tools to help you do this too. So Topsy, for Twitter specifically, you can search your product, service, or business idea and understand how many times it's mentioned, and then additionally, how people are actually talking about that particular product or service, so you can leverage it later when you're building your brand and bringing those people in, speaking to them directly. So lots of perks here, lots of tools, more tips in the blog post about that one as well, for different tools you can use. Tapping your network, overlooked by so many people. This one is just about friends, family, social media networks, whatever you've got. Bring them in, ask them for feedback. Do they like your idea? Maybe do they like your website? Get feedback from them. Groom those relationships. Make sure you don't get the light and fluffy feedback. You want that good, honest, gritty stuff so you can actually do something with it. Now next is actually starting an online store. This is insanely healthy to do. First of all, it's free, it's easy. You can direct traffic to it. You can start to take pre-orders. You can just get a really healthy foundation for when maybe you go and get funding, for when you want to actually direct people for feedback if you're using your network. So good resource and just a really viable option for you too. Now number 6, scoping the competition. We're going to actually dive more into this in the next post. However, for this one, during this point in time, just go out there and understand whether or not there's someone who actually owns the entire space, or if there's lots of people within that particular space, where there's room for you to do it really well. Perhaps there's a lot of people in the space who don't do it so great, and you want to go ahead and own it. Then number 7, working smart. So overlooked by so many people. I did the same thing. When you're actually doing research for your particular product, service, business idea, go to the internet, see if there's any market research done for you already, so you can go ahead and leverage it. Pretty easy. And then last, people skip this one and get so intimidated by crowdfunding, it's silly. So for crowdfunding, there's tools, resources, organizations all over the place. Indiegogo, Kickstarter, the list goes on. More in the blog post for you as well. But go get some resources. You can actually take your product or service idea, pitch it before you even have it to market, just to gauge interest, to get some funds behind it, so you can go ahead and get started. It's a really great option for anyone, really. So 8 ways to conduct market research. Come back next week to learn more specifically about competition. And thanks so much for tuning in.